What is up, everyone? This is Wingnut on Wingnuts RC, and today we're going to be doing a live build of the FJ45. It's the IR40 124 scale that Injora just released. Trying to get everything set up here. Oh boy, we got stuff tipping over already. Alright, I think that'll be a good angle. So I did some stuff to this like ahead of time. I got the transmission and motor put together, and I started putting the frame together and the body on it. And there's a couple of things I don't like about it, but I think we're going to be able to tweak those out once we get it, a little further along in the build. One of the things I noticed is it's not quite lining up straight. I don't know if that's a frame issue or if that's like a body issue, but either way, I think once we have the magnets on there, we can probably, you know, tweak that over a little bit and tighten some stuff up. I have everything like loose in the back right now, trying to get it to shift over. And I'm not a big fan of these sliders. They don't give you a whole lot of room to work with, but they don't really line up either. I don't know if that's a frame issue because I am using the LCG chassis, which they just discontinued. So if you like this chassis, which I have a couple of them now on a couple different builds, and I was a little disappointed to hear that they did away with them, but they do have some left in the U.S. warehouse. So if you want to go get them, definitely snag them up while you can. I also got most of the wheels put together. I did leave one of them. This one I put together with the foam in it, but the other ones I'm running the silicone inserts. So we'll do a little comparison with those. And this has the aluminum ring in it, and we're gonna put brass rings in probably all of them to start with. I might end up taking them out of the rears. I'm not sure, but for now we're just gonna put them in all of them. So I got a whole box of parts here, and we're gonna get building and try to get her finished up here today. So if you have any questions, I'm gonna try to keep up with that. I'm gonna try to get the chat pulled up here. All right, I got the chat up, and if you guys have any questions, feel free to hop on there, get a shout out, whatever. All right, so where was I with this? I have all the screws separated here. The body comes with a bunch of different screws, and there's a couple different styles of the same size. So I kind of put them, where I thought they fit best. There's some tapered ones that are countersunk. I think that they go in here on the sliders. I tried putting them back here because I don't really like how that is, but I ended up splitting one of them. This one here, so don't do that. But yeah, I guess we're gonna mount the other slider up here. I also got the links put together ahead of time. They didn't go too bad. I used the Injora links, and they always treat me pretty good, so definitely recommend those. And I did get the adjustables. I started using the adjustables a while back whenever I did my pink IR40 build, mainly because of four-wheel steer. and they're adjustable, so it allowed me to adjust the rear steer. So this is the tool that I mentioned. This thing has been awesome. I've been using it. I charged a little bit right here before I started the live, but you know, it's been working awesome for me, so definitely recommend this thing. And there are two different settings. I was watching Cape Crawler's video, and he mentioned that there's different settings for the LCG versus like the standard chassis, and that's in the back here. So basically that like makes up for the chassis being tapered. And for the LCG, you run the top hole. See what this side looks like. See, it's not quite, I think it's just a matter of like the LCG. I think if you were running like the standard or maybe the adjustable LC, the universal, which is what Cape Crawlers used, his looked good, so I think maybe it's just this particular chassis, the angle on it. But yeah, I think they look decent. I like how you can't see the whole Injora. That's the thing that, like, I feel like it's supposed to be out like a running board, and it's like a partial running board, but not, I don't know. It doesn't look like it was meant to, like it was an afterthought kinda, that didn't go quite right. Who knows? We'll run them though. Oh, and this is the battery that I mentioned, if you saw it sitting here. It's a 100 milliamp an hour, 60C discharge rate, but it's shaped a little different. This is like your standard one. So it's about the same, a little bit shorter, like a hair shorter, but it's half the width. And then a little bit thicker than the stock one, but not much. So I'm thinking that I'll be able to put that probably somehow like that maybe, or like up in here. I don't know, head out then. Once we get everything put together, we'll figure out where we're gonna mount the battery. I'm not really sure on that yet. I was trying to brainstorm some ideas, and I got a couple ideas, but nothing set in stone yet. Whoops. So, I guess we'll go with the links next. Get those in. Leave the motor and transmission after that. And I have the axles that I want to build, so I gotta get the axles and the links built. Or the axles and the links installed. But first we gotta build the axles up. So we'll do that actually. Give me a break from doing this thing. So I got some of the brass diff covers. I got these ones because they have like the straight lines in them, and I thought that was kind of cool, kind of retro-y. And some brass links from Injora. Adjust that down just a hair. There we go. And then for the axles, I went with just some. Just some standard. You know, I had these laying around in a parts bin, but they're like brand new takeoffs. So we're gonna use them. I really like these because they're a lot like slipperier on the rocks. The nylon just, I don't know, they work really good. Just the overall axle design's pretty nice. Never had a problem with. I do want to eventually put different style axles in there with the universal joint, CV style, whatever you want to call it, instead of like the dog bone. So that's one thing I do want to change down the road, and I'm gonna play around with the gear setting. Right now we're just going to run the standard ones, but I think I am going to probably overdrive it in the front. So we'll see how that works out down the road here. For now, we're just going to throw her together and see what we got going on. Oh, and I got a super awesome servo for this. The brand new 15 kilogram coreless. Check that bad boy out. I haven't ran one of these coreless yet. We're starting off with a 15, so I'm not sure how that's going to work, but they say they're really good, so I'm really excited to try that out. And then somewhere here, There's the links, shocks, mounts. All right, there's the new servo tray. Now I don't know quite how these work. I did notice that the servo is longer than your standard one, and even like the Emax and stuff, I don't think's that long. So I don't know if this new one has something to do with that, but it was advertised on the site as being for the cordless and everything. So we snagged that up. We're gonna throw that on just to be safe, and then I got the new steering servo horns. So you know, it's gonna look pretty cool. And I like the design of it. It's kind of like old school coffin design. So super cool. I dig it. So many goodies. I don't want to like miss any of the parts. I'm like digging through the box over here to see what all we got because I forgot this stuff. Injora definitely hooked it up on this, and then now we're actually an affiliate for Injora, so they help me out a little bit on the price of the stuff that I order, and it helps out because then I can, you know, demonstrate guys and give you guys an idea of what you're purchasing. And in the description of this video, there's actually a link, so you can go on there and anything that you buy, the channel will get like helped out with that thing. So if you want to support the channel and you don't want to be a member of the membership club thing, which I am going to start doing lives on that. So if you are interested in becoming a member of the channel, I'm going to adjust the price. Now I think I have it set a little bit high, but I'm going to lower the price down since we're just starting with it and see how many of you guys are interested. And if it works out, I'm going to start doing lives probably like every Friday or Saturday. We'll jump into a live of something and then just random ones here and there. So yeah, I guess we'll start with getting this all torn apart and get these opened up and see what we got to work with. I'm using the Injora bits. I actually got these with the screwdriver, which I really like this thing, and I use that for a good while, but I was sick of, like, I wanted something power, something easier and quicker, and I don't know, I just wanted to try that out. I've been drooling on it for a while, so. And if you can't watch the whole video right now, like if you're at work or whatever, because it is like kind of last minute, I didn't announce when I was going to do it, but I've had this sitting here on the desk, and I want to get it done so that I can try it out. I'm super excited about that. So I figure we just do a live here. I'm off work today. I actually work night shift now, so I'm off work last night and tonight, and I figure perfect time to get this knocked out and get some videos for you guys. I think my daughter's been bugging me to help with the videos, so I think we're going to get some running videos of it later, or possibly tomorrow. We're supposed to get a ton of snow tomorrow. They're calling for like 10 to 20 inches last time I checked. So we haven't had a good snow in a few years. I feel like we used to get a lot more snow. Like whenever I was younger, I got a blizzard like at least every other year. And I haven't had a good one in a few years. It's probably been, I can't really think of one that we've had in the last 5 years around here. It always seems to hit us. They start it and they get my hopes up, and then it doesn't happen. Oops. I keep bumping that with my hat. Check out, I got some Wingnuts RC hats if you haven't seen them yet. I don't have any for sale. I just got like a couple made up. But if you guys are interested in them, let me know, and I'll get some more made up and get them sent out to you. I'll charge you like what I pay for them and then shipping. Not going to make anything, you know, off of you supporting the channel and promoting us or whatever. Now these are supposed to be 6 kilogram a piece, I believe. I have a scale saw, but I don't think I have it unpacked yet. This is actually the first build we're doing in the new house. I don't have the studio set up yet, but I'm working on that. Like the downstairs is really nice, like the basement. So we're gonna set up like a whole workhorse there, and I'm gonna have like a big workbench that looks like a garage, and it's gonna be really cool. I got a bunch of ideas for that, so that's gonna make for some awesome builds and testing and all that good stuff. Oops, almost forgot the bearing. Did come with new ones. All right, so make sure you put these bearings in, otherwise your worm gear is gonna get jammed up in there. Grab one of the trays here. It's got leftover shims from the frame kit in it right now, but push them off to the side. It was pretty cool. So this is one of the first builds. Well, not the first build we did for Injora since we started working with them, but this is like the first, like the biggest opportunity that they've given us. So it was pretty cool. I was talking to them, and back like whenever I was doing a bunch of stuff for FMS, they would give us like basically like a guideline or like a script or whatever of what they wanted to tell you, what they wanted us to like tell you guys, and how they wanted us to promote the product. Um, so they sent us these ones in the kit, the silver ones, but a lot of times I like to use the black ones because I think they look better. So we're gonna use the black ones in here. But yeah, I was emailing dude back and forth about what they wanted done in the video, what they wanted me to promote, or you know the selling points or whatever. And he like, just we want to see what you do with it. Like we'll send you the parts, and you figure out a game plan, and we're excited to see what you come up with, and give your honest opinion of the product. Think of it, how you think it works. Anything that I feel could be improved or changed, feel free to just voice my opinion on it. I thought that was really cool because a lot of companies nowadays, like I said, like that's not to knock them much, but um, I don't know. They just always, I don't know, different. What's the word I'm looking for? Morals, I guess, or something along those lines. They're a better company. We'll say that. Better company to work with. Better parts. Better customer service. And those went in there very nicely. I like the way they look. Well, I don't think you're gonna see that once the servo tray's on there. I think that's probably gonna cover that. You're not gonna be able to see the Injora. It'll look cool like right there. So there's the first thing. You put the name where you can see it. No, I don't know. They look cool. I'm not gonna complain about it. And I keep hitting that with my head. Sorry about that, guys. I'm gonna flip my hat backwards, and maybe I won't. Man, they look really cool. I like the angles on that. I don't know if the video does it much justice, but they definitely, I dig it. Alright, that's going to come with like a bunch of different hardwares, little screws, some ball ends. So depending on what style links you're running or whatever, comes with all kinds of goodies that you would need for that. We're not going to run this stock one. So I'm going to see what the steering link kit comes with, which is hiding around here somewhere. Right here. Alright, so we got the red ones. So we're going to actually use screws and the spindles. Or knuckles, or whatever you want to call them. And I kind of like them because, I don't know, it kind of resembles like a red bushing. Like most of your like real deal Ford kits would have. Put that over there in the spare parts pile. Alright, so these probably are going to be different side to side. Yep. So you're going to want to make sure you have the right one. And you can tell that because they're angled. So this one is going to be opposite of that. Yeah, so this one's going to be your driver's side one. We go over here. And this one will go over here. Now that is going to need bushings in it. I think they're going to be... I'm getting too much stuff on the table. I'm losing track of it. I not see bushings. Well, that's a nice nice way to start off a live stream. I do not think we're going to be able to install the brass knuckles because I do not see bushings to go in there. Man, that really sucked. Alright, so I guess we're going to have to run plastic bushings, and I'm going to have to reach out to the customer support and get another set of knuckles. I don't think I have any of them in the parts stuff here. Yep, we definitely don't have any bushings. So, I guess that will not be... That'll be in a part 2. I guess we'll get some of those fancier axle shafts, and we'll get them put in. So for now, we'll put the steering on and put that back together. Not much I can do. Injora, if you're watching this, what the heck? Put them back in there. And I assume they'll probably just send me a whole nother pack of them. But, yeah. They take bushing, so that hole's like way bigger than what you got working with there. And it requires a little brass bushing that goes in there, and unfortunately that is not in the kit. Oh no, I don't have them on that. Yep, so we're gonna have to wait on those. Dang it. Throw them back in the old parts bin. That's really crappy. I was really looking forward to putting those knuckles on because I don't know. I think they look cool and they add a nice amount of weight to the front and low and out to the sides. So it's just a really good spot to like add weight to it. And now it's got me all flustered. I'm not gonna. There we go. Not too tight on them. That's another nice thing about the bushing. It allows you to tighten it down, then you don't got to worry about it jamming up. Yeah, we'll definitely have to do a part 2 of a bunch of like other upgrades. There's a couple other things I want to do to it also. I mean, this is pretty much going to cover most of it, but I am going to do like a couple like, you know, scale up, make it look a little bit more realistic. And like I said, play around with the gearing and all that good stuff. You know, they're never done. There's always one more part to buy for them. Go ahead and take this off because we are going to switch this. So this tool that they have, you can get that through the link in the description as well on this video. But this, the tool bits, you can get these like by themselves. You can get them with the screwdriver, like I mentioned. You can get them with this guy, and then you can get this thing like by itself, like I ordered it because I already had some of the bits. Or you can get it with, you know, different bit assortments. It's definitely a cool tool to have. Man, I can't believe that that doesn't have the bushings in it. Like, I knew something was up with it when I first looked at this that came out of the package. Like, something was telling me something was missing. So yeah, these are the adjustable links that I was talking about, and like I used them on this one here because in the back, the wheels were like all like they weren't. I couldn't get them straight. I couldn't adjust the with the radio that I was running, the AX24 radio. So I ended up getting this, and then I was able to, you know, adjust everything and set the alignment of it and whatnot. But I am still running the brass in the front because I am able to adjust the steering trim in the front of it. But like I said, it's one of my go-to setups. All right, now in the front, we are gonna have to switch over because this has the ball style, and we're gonna do away with that. That was actually really. Oh, I forgot. I run O-rings on the bottom of these, and it keeps them from being so sloppy. I forgot I did that to this one, and I was like, man, that's the nicest one I've ever felt. All right, so those are the diff screws. A lot of times when I'm building, like I'll just make like a pile of extra screws that go on, and then they'll just all go in like the same baggie when I'm done, and then eventually get sorted out. So we'll grab one of these guys here. Now it's gonna get double stacked on the passenger side, the right side of this one. So that'll take a longer screw. But this one will take the shorter screw. I like to put the logo up, but that's personal preference. And then this will go on here like that. So, are you guys excited about the snow we're supposed to be getting here? I was talking about it a little bit, and I definitely am excited about it. I do have to work that night, so I'll be driving home in it, so that'll be kind of fun. I got some new tires on the Jeep a couple months ago, so she should do pretty good. We got some snow the other day, and I ended up taking the long way home, driving all over the back roads and everything. They got plowed. One of my favorite things to do in the wintertime. All right, I'm gonna get rid of some of this clutter around here, empty bags. Those are for the diff plate, or the belly pan transmission plate, whatever you want to call it. All right, so there's the links and the diff cover. Unfortunately, we could not put the spindles on it yet, but we will get to those as soon as Injora sends me the replacements. We're gonna hop on the back quick just to get that out of here. If you can't tell, I have like ADD. It's easier to hide it whenever I do the videos ahead of time, but the live stream, there's definitely no hiding my ADD. So if you see me bouncing around, I apologize. Trying to keep my head back so I don't smack the camera with my hat, and makes it a little hard to see these tiny screws. Usually I'm like up close and personal squinting at them. Should have my glasses on, but of course I don't. Remember, make sure you put your bearing in there. I should be putting some grease in it, but I don't have my grease handy. I don't think I have it handy. I got to order some actually. So I'll take these back apart whenever I get the knuckles and the new axle shafts and whatnot. And we'll put some fresh grease in there. Yeah, I really like these diff covers. What do you guys think? What's your favorite diff covers? What's your go-to? This is the first time I ever ran these. I have these ones on the four-wheel steer. These ones are a little bit heavier, but they have a lot more like surfaces that I feel like will get up on stuff, and they're a little bit bulkier. So that's another reason why I went with these ones. I think these ones are a little bit more streamlined and will slide over the rocks better. This thing has all kinds of power. Um, I always make sure that like I'm not hyped because if that grabs a hold of it, it will probably trip that or snap the head off the screw pretty easily. Almost lost the pin there. But it's an awesome tool. I definitely am glad that I purchased that. And would definitely recommend it. Alright, so there's the rear diff cover. And that's probably about all we're going to do to the rear on this. It adds a little bit of weight to the back and it looks cool and everything. But I want to focus most of the weight towards the front, obviously. So we'll put a little bit down there and keep it from like doing endos coming down hills. And then it'll also have the brass and the wheels and tires to start out. But that's all we're going to do for that. We'll jump back on the front here. Finish up the servo. What do you guys think of this new, has anyone tried it, the new servo they got out? Did you even know about it? It was kind of funny, I was emailing them, and they were like, hey, what do you think about trying this new servo we got out? And kind of giving me their little sales pitch on it. And I was like, oh, I already got one in the mail that actually just showed up yesterday. So we were one step ahead of them. Like I said, this one, I want to call it like a full custom build, but it's not like custom. Like everything's like stuff you can literally click that link and buy. Other than we are gonna like the battery's not from Injora, and I'm using a Mia radio and receiver, just because they're super tiny. I have it hiding around here somewhere. Oh, right here. So it's very small. So that's why we went with that one, and it has that cool radio I've been wanting to try. So that's about the only thing that's not in that Injora link. Everything else you can pretty much go buy. But my whole idea of this build was I wanted to do something that wasn't like where you had to go buy like an axial or a Traxxas or an FMS and then pretty much change everything on it. This is basically purchasing all the upgrade parts and just, you know, building what you wanted to build anyhow, and skipping the step of buying a $100 to $150 or more RC car. I think these Traxxas are like $200. The TRX 4M, which I do want to build another one of those. Somebody apparently wanted my other one that I built more than I did, so they ended up helping themselves to it. But we're going to build one. I have a brand new body there, the brown body, and F-150. So I am going to get another one of those and get some cool Injora parts probably for it and build it up. I've really been wanting to do like a plow truck. With all the snow and everything lately in my area, I've really been to build like a plow truck. I've been seeing that they have 1/24th, 1/18th scale plows, and I've wanted one for the 1/10th scale. Haven't gotten one yet, and I don't know. I feel like I might jump on AliExpress one of these days and just go ahead and order one. What do you guys think? Have you tried the plow on the mini? Do they work? Some of the videos I watched look pretty decent. But I'm not sure what I would put it on because like my IR40 or IR60s, um, they don't really look like a plow truck. They're more of like a rock crawl off-road rig. Same with this one. But I feel like a highboy would look pretty good with a snowplow. Because anyone that has ever lived on a farm or anything like that that's plowed with an old 70s Ford, those things are absolute tanks. It doesn't matter how much snow you have, you can get it cleared out with an old Ford. The old Dodges and Chevys are okay, but they can't take the beating an old Ford can. Been there, experienced it. Alright, so this thing here is pretty sweet. It's got like some machining going on there, like some grooves. It's all aluminum. Even the back's aluminum, I think. Very nice servo. It does come out the side. I'm not a big fan of that because it usually ends up rubbing on the frame rail, and I have noticed like somewhere it chafed through the wiring. So I prefer it out the back of it, but we'll see how she works. I have to figure out where I'm going to mount it on there. This is another thing. I probably should have done this ahead of time because I'm going to try this like 10 times until I am happy with the location of it. That's a nice tight fit there. I might have to back those screws off a little bit. So what do you guys think of the FJ45? Is it one of your preferred models? I know a lot of guys, especially like the people I talk to down in Australia, they love these things. We don't have too many of them around here. I have seen, like over the years, I've seen some FJ40s in the area. But the 45s are definitely pretty scarce over here. Alright, so we're not going to tighten the servo horn down yet, just because you always wait until she's powered up to do that. But I just want to get an idea of where everything's going to line up on here. I kind of want to run that towards the back, I think, a little bit. But I have to watch hitting this because of it being so long. So I guess I should get the axle in there probably beforehand, and then I'll know like where the links put the axle, and then I can adjust the servo from there. That's one of the neat things, like they don't really give you instructions with this stuff, so it's kind of like use your imagination and put it where it needs to be. There's no wrong way if it works. And they give you so many of these bags, like they're everywhere. The wrong person comes in an RC person's house and understand what the parts and screws come in, would probably think the wrong thing. I've always wondered that. Like I always like pick them up and throw them out like like there's something wrong with them. Now I don't want to get stuff mixed up because there are like different size screws that need to go in different spots. So we're going to try to keep it kind of chaotically organized. Alright, so there's the links. I got the matching links. These are actually a little bit cheaper too. The reason I grabbed them. The high clearance ones, you know, these are high clearance and everything. They give you a really nice, like over angle and everything so that you're not getting hung up on stuff. So they're definitely cool to have. I can never have enough trays. Like whenever I'm doing a big build like this, I get screws everywhere because everything comes with hardware. So you end up with one heck of a chaotic mess like what I got going on right now. I got body screws over here. If you can see that on camera, I'm not sure. Yeah. So this is like still body screws. I got all the link screws and everything here. More link screws here. All kinds of stuff. I forget where half came from now. But they'll all end up where they need to go. Alright, so the shorter ones are going to go towards the front. These are going to be the front uppers. And then the shorter bent ones are going to be the front lowers. And then the rears. I always forget which ones go where. Alright, lowers go to the inside. Uppers go to the outside. Now these frames do have like adjustable points that you can get. You can adjust where your links go and everything. But I usually just put them in the standard holes. And then it goes like through your skid and all that stuff. Makes it a little bit stronger, I feel. Trying to read the comments here. Got some people chiming in now. Yes, it is definitely a mess. I probably should have put these links on before the skid plate, but oh well. The joys of live stream builds. She got a little tight. Tell me this isn't machined right. Oh, for the skid plate, I got the reversible one, which I really like those. Yeah, we're gonna have to take these skid plates off to put these on. So save those for after you put this on, FYI. Hey, what's up, Donna? All right, let's try this again. I always worry about breaking these off in the aluminum ones. So definitely be gentle whenever you're cranking them down. I actually kind of gave myself a mini heart attack a minute ago. I thought I broke one off. And yes, I have CD with my links. I like them somewhat pointing so you can see the name and size on them and the same directions. Now for these, you're going to put the longer angle is going to be towards the back, and then the shorter is going to be on the axle side, and then reversed on the rear. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe if you're not subscribed already. If you're new to the channel, we do all kinds of RC stuff, mostly crawlers, but I do get into some of like the asphalt stuff, or like the rippers, bashers, rock racers, all that fun stuff. And then we even do like some full scale, like sometimes I do stuff with like my full scale trucks and my Jeep and motorcycles and all kinds of, you know, fun gearhead stuff. I wish I could be like playing music or something, but obviously, oops, I put that in the wrong one. That needs to be a bent link. Yeah, I wish we could have like some music on in the background, but you know, YouTube doesn't like that. Get hit with copyright things. It always gets me like if I'm in like a public place and someone like has the radio up too loud in their car. It always gets me for like the plagiarism. I'm like, what the heck? I didn't even hear that. How do you guys hear it? But The old AI snags it every time. One time I was walking through the woods, and it was back when me and Casey were making videos together. And somebody off in the distance was having like a barbecue or something, and they had their radio going, some country tunes rocking out, and it actually flagged it for that. I had to take like a whole like 15-minute segment out of my video because it had country radio in the background. Man, my hands are kind of shaky today. Should have stopped up a coffee instead too. Just had to double check, make sure I did that. Uppers to outer. Yep. Good to go. Yeah, it's definitely crappy you can't play music. I would even take requests. I would be like RC mechanic and a DJ all in one. Yeah, I think this is gonna look pretty nice. I'm still a little curious about the shocks that I got. I think that they're the shorter ones that Injora offers out of their newer shocks, and these ones that I got have like brass on the bottoms, which are really cool. These guys here. So that'll add a little weight down low, which I like. I'm not crazy about the color. I don't like the flashing of them, so we might paint them. I don't know, maybe probably not. But it is cool that they're brass down low there, little low weight. And I would be interested to see how much it actually adds. So we might tear one of them apart and one of my regular ones apart, and see what the difference is between brass as far as the weight goes. Anyone that's just tuning in, the reason the axles aren't as awesome as I was planning on doing them, the front one at least, is Injora forgot to put bushings in my knuckle kit. I'm never going to let you live this one, Injora. I'm going to have to, every time I order parts from now on, I'm going to be like, did you put the bushings in it? Are the screws in there? Actually, I get parts from them all the time. I have been pretty much since I got into the crawlers. And one of my first Injora purchases was a 1/10 scale cherry body for the first like real crawler that I got. I bought two WPLs that if you've been watching the channel for a while, you probably seen me build them. And I got two of them and never really got them working. Like after I was already into like all the other ones, I got bored one day and started messing with them. Got it working and burnt the motor up like 5 times in one day. I went through like a whole stack of motors. So that was the end of my WPL encounter or whatever you want to call it. But after that, I got TRX4 Bronco. That was like the first real deal RC car that I actually like got to take out and run. And then I ended up with 2 of them, and the one I turned into a Cherokee. And I ordered an Injora body and some other Injora parts, wheels and tires and stuff like that. And pretty much ever since then, I've been using their parts like over everyone else. For the most part. Like there are a couple other brands, like yes, I get some stuff from like their radio. I'm definitely excited to run that. And you know, some other, I get some ramp crab parts. They have some stuff that nobody else makes, so you know, I go to them for some stuff. But Injora is definitely my go-to. And with that being said, the amount of crawlers that I have had built for other people, all that good stuff, I've only had issues a couple times. Like when they first got really big, I had issues with like machining. Like stuff would come and it didn't have threads in it and it was supposed to, or you know, different mess ups like. But I can't really say they've ever really forgotten to put stuff in. One time they put screws in that were too short by mistake, I think. That was with the brushless setup. They sent them right out to me. I contacted customer service and no hesitation, they sent me the proper screws. I think they actually sent me a couple extras. And got me fixed right up. Super fast shipping on the parts too. They actually got me the parts that or the screws that they forgot quicker than what the original parts came. It was like a couple of days they were on my doorstep. So I'm not worried about it not having the bushings. You know, it's a little bit delayed, but speaking of delayed, what do you guys think about the whole SCX30 crap going on right now? I pre-ordered the SCX30 K10 in black, literally the day Axial released it, to be ordered, like a pre-order. And my payment and everything like that. And I've been waiting and waiting. On the 21st, I got on there that night, and lo and behold, like all you guys know, it switched from the 21st to the 28th. And obviously there's nothing we can do about it. And I go on this, like the website or the Facebook pages for the SCX30s, and I see all these people like, oh, quit crying, you guys are a bunch of adults crying about it. I mean, yeah, kinda, but at the same time, you know, a company promised something that, you know, in my case, like, I do these videos, and it's not the end of the world, but I've been talking to Injora about, they want to do, like, a comparison, oh boy, knocked the stuff over, with Red Cat 32 and the Ken. And I can tell you right off the bat, like, the Axial is going to, you know, it's going to be better out of the box. But we're going to do upgrades with the Injora upgrades. Then I'm going to do something with, like, the servo and the motor to make that better. But we're going to do, like, a, you know, comparison of the two. So it kind of sucked that, you know, I'm working with like a big company like that, and now we don't know when the parts are going to come in because um, of it, I guess a delay in shipping. But then I seen the green one was released. People are like starting to show them. I don't know. It could be AI. You know, these days you never know. But uh, yeah, like I've seen these things where like people are posting up the green ones, but I haven't seen any black ones posted. So with that being said, I'm wondering if it might have been the black ones that got delayed in shipping, and it was just the luck of the draw that that's what we ordered. Oh boy, this is going to be challenging to you guys that don't like the tedious parts. These bushings need to go in the outer. Now they did send me bushings with this, and if we can get them in there, they go in these outer spots. And I think that they would work my spindle actually. They sent me 3 of them. Not enough though. Donna is doing her first build on a Mofo C1XL SS 4-wheel steer. Waiting on a motor mount. Oh geez. You better tell them they better get that motor mount out to you. No, it happens. Like, I get it. I don't hold it against them because at the end of the day, like they're a ton of parts for us, and there's like so many little stupid things that they put in them. Like, you know, that one had like I forget where I put it now, but it had all kinds of hardware in there. So for them that, you know, there's not some bushings in there, it's a mistake. You know, everybody makes them. Man, that is a tight fit in there for that bushing. Actually, I'd like press it in there. Oh, I didn't know your son worked for A Main, Donna. That's awesome. So, do you get a discount? And yeah, I kind of figured that was the case. I figured it black ones. The black one looks like super cool. It's very old school, like 70s. I don't know. It just, I think it looks awesome. And I'm not a Chevy guy. I'm a Ford guy, like diehard Ford guy. I have Ford tattoos and stuff. But I appreciate any classic vehicle for the most part. And those old Chevys are not an exception. I dig them. I would definitely take any old Chevy over any new vehicle, even a Ford. Man, they are a tight fit in there. Don't get him in trouble now, Donna. But that's super cool. That's like my favorite part of working with different companies. Is like the goodies you get. Like I know, you know, all of us dream of that. Like when I first got into the hobby, I was like, man, I hope I can get sponsored by one of these, or like, you know, it'd be cool to be sponsored by like a company like this. And you know, I got really lucky and was able to get, you know, hooked up with quite a few companies here, and get a bunch of awesome parts to share with you guys, and not have to spend, you know, a ton of money in doing it. You know, I still got a little bit. I'm not gonna act like I don't, but it's definitely cool to have a company that backs you. And if I could get a job working for a company, like I kind of did that with FMS, and that's why like I got super annoyed, I guess you could say, with FMS towards like the end of the FMSO project that we were doing together, because I had an awesome opportunity where like I was working with a company and like we were designing stuff together, and it was really cool talking every night with them, part of the team, I guess you could say. And out of nowhere, they decided that they were just gonna like stop paying me, and didn't pay me for a lot of stuff. And it just, for a while I was really annoyed with it, but I started like doing stuff with them again, and took it as a lesson learned. Man, I think those bushings are supposed to go in from the outside. Sorry, I was like looking at it close off camera. So there's not enough room there for them. And I guess that's the downfall of them not giving you like picture diagram of most of their parts. But yeah, they don't go in there, and they were a pain in the butt to get in, so I can't imagine they're going to be any more fun to get back out. Dang it. Well, I wonder if I can use my handy dandy press for this. I got this the other day off of Amazon, and what it is, it's a gear press for the motors. That's one of the things I was super disappointed with. So I was talking to the tech guys over at Injora, and I really like the helical cut transmission, and it's extremely smooth. It's supposed to be stronger, which I've never broken. I don't even think I've broken a plastic gear in a transmission on any of these axials, but I've definitely not broken a metal one. So the strength factor, I guess, isn't a big deal for that, but they're very smooth, and because of that, you can get a really good like startup modulation and everything. So I figured pairing that with a brushless setup would be, you know, the ultimate in smooth, and then I was going to do like the axles and everything, and just get it like as smooth as possible. So I ordered the transmission, and it comes with a brushed motor. And then I ordered the brushless setup, and I popped the gears off of both of them to swap, the helical. Yeah, see, it pressed that sucker right out. These things are awesome. Injora doesn't make one, unfortunately, so I had to go with Mias. And nothing against Mias. I like Mias. They don't give me a percentage of what I sell for them, so. Yeah, it's a cool part, but I don't have a link to give you. But yeah, so anyway, I popped those gears off, and I went to switch the helical gear onto the brushless motor. And apparently the brushless motors have a bigger shaft on them. So because of that, I was not able to put the helical cut gear onto the brushless motor, and vice versa. So it is still straight cut gears. Now it is the aluminum housing, it is the metal gears, it is better bearings, and this is way smoother than the factory plastic transmission. But it's not helical cut, and I don't know why, but like ever since I used that first helical cut transmission I got a couple months ago, which is in my blue IR60 Toyota. It's just, it was a game changer. Or no, actually, I don't have it in that. That one's brushless. What did I put that in? It's in the Power Wagon now. That's right. It's in the orange Power Wagon. And I got, now that I have another one, I was going to send it back, but then I thought about it and I'll just get, I'll put it in something else. So for now, it's in my deadbolt, this one here. So it's got the 50 turn brushed motor and then a helical cut transmission. And I got one in this. So I got two of them now. Actually, this is the one I just got. I put my older one in that. Yeah, scratch that. The deadbolt has my cheapy one that I got off of Amazon. This one is my helical cut 50 turn, and it came with a purple anodize, which matched this, so that's why it ended up in here. And this thing has like everything that you possibly, I still have to get the brass outers, but it's got all kinds of bells and whistles. So I figured that deserved the fancy transmission. All right, so much better. See, that's another one of the joys of live builds. You find out you're missing bushings together. You find out that you're not supposed to put the bushings in that direction together. I would have liked a little bit longer screw in there, but I think these are 6s. I kind of feel like an 8 would have been a little better in there. Oh, that was a little bit longer. We'll use 2 of them guys. So, is there anyone else from like the Northeast United States watching? Some local. Alright, so it looks like we're going to have plenty of room on the front half. And I am going to do, so as far as the bumper goes, I ordered a stock Base Camp bumper set. And the reason I got this, I'm going to put all this stuff in like my bin, but it came with this bumper mount right here. And the reason I got a stock one instead of, I found a company that makes the aluminum ones, and I have one of those on my black IR60, and I have one on this. And it's really nice. I like it. But what I found is I think this fell off of something I ran into. I think I ran into a rock with it. And it broke this off because there's nothing to give there. So the weakest part was this like white metal or like pot metal or whatever you want to call it. It's like crappy, but the pin it just like it broke off. You know, it might be aluminum, honestly, like just aluminum. But yeah, so that broke off. So my whole thought behind running a stock one is it's plastic. So if that one gets like if it gets ran into anything, because I did get a bumper for this one, an Injora metal bumper instead of the supplied one that's on there now just for like cope. This will give a little bit, and hopefully that won't happen again. So that's the whole plan there. Um, but it looks like that one's not going to have. I might be able to bring that forward. Yeah, I'll have plenty of clearance in the front for this guy. So we can tuck it in there. Right about like in there, I think will work good. So I think we're gonna go with probably the front forward most forward setting on this. I think that that's gonna work the best. What's up there, Jason? At work. I love whenever you have a job that you can watch like YouTube and stuff. So lately, as some of you know, especially if you watch 24 Yep, on one of his live streams, we were talking the one day about where I worked and everything. Like he brought up like sheets and basically, I was working at Sheets. I no longer work at Sheets, and I started working for Onvo, which is a truck stop. I work like third shift there, and we just built a new building. So for the past like month, I've basically been working like security for them. Pretty much like I show up there for my shift, and I just hang out and work on RC cars or play video games or get on tube and clean and get done what I need to, and then I can do my own thing for the rest of the night and just be there and watch over the place. And they have Hot Wheels there. If you guys seen that premium thing, that's where it was. Like I walked to work and seen that they had a whole bunch of premium Hot Wheels on the shelf. So there goes like half my paycheck. I read all that. No, I cannot go somewhere that has Hot Wheels without buying them, and half the time like I end up giving them away. So it's kind of like it's a hobby. I like collecting them, finding them, and then I'll save like some favorites, and then hook some kids up with them. My nephew gets spoiled with them anytime I see him. He gets some hot friends, kids, or whatever. I know when I was a kid, I used to love getting Hot Wheels. My uncle used to take me to the Carlisle Car Show flea market. He sold parts there. He's a gearhead, and there was this old man there that had Hot Wheels, and I used to love whenever he would, he was one of them old dudes that liked seeing a kid enjoy him as much as he did when he was a kid. So anytime I would go over there, he would up with some, and then by the end of the weekend, I'd end up buying, a bunch more off of him. And I still have some of them. I was going through some of my old cars, and I definitely found some that he gave me. Alright, so I think it's gonna work there. We're gonna do a quick test fit. Alright, I have plenty of room in the back. Looks like I have plenty of room in the front. Yeah, it looks like that'll clear pretty good. So we're going to tighten her down there. Oh boy, my chaotic mess. I'm losing screws, I believe. I thought I had some long black ones for on the top, but do not see them now. Oh well. Actually, I did not have screws in there because this was in my parts bin of all my extra axial stuff. I was actually going to send a bunch of this stuff out to Michigan to Rock Wolf and those guys because they do like a really cool thing where they like build stuff off of their leftover parts and give them to people that, you know, aren't as fortunate as us to have companies send us all kinds of parts or the ability to you know, on there and order stuff off the old interweb. So I was saving up a bunch of stuff and putting it in here. So this is like all my, just my extra stock stuff. I got all kinds of like links and springs and motors and transmissions and, you know, anything that comes off of them. And it works great for whenever you're building them. So, you know, even if you're just doing it for yourself or saving up to build them for other people, those tackle boxes are a lifesaver. Especially when you have like stuff everywhere like I do. Like, the hobby has taken over. Okay, so the front axle is pretty much squared away. Mount the servo now. And I don't really like how, man, those links are like awfully close to, I guess we're not going to be drooping that much. But with that being so long, it hangs out over the back of this mount. I guess it's made for it, so it should be okay, I guess. We'll put these guys in there. Look, I have one bushing left, so we can put half of a spindle on. All right, Donna, thanks for tuning in, and definitely catch you on the next one. Oh man, I forget the guy's name. Like, actually, I don't even know if I knew it. I probably did back in the day, I'm sure. I guarantee, like, my uncle, he brought me up pretty good, so I guarantee he made sure that I went over and properly thanked him and all that good stuff. And so I guarantee back then I knew his name, but that was a long time ago, like 30 some years ago. There was a lot of people I knew through that. Like my uncle, he was a time car guy, and so growing up with him, I met a lot of really cool people that were into like the collector, like Hershey Car Show people and Carlisle people. That is definitely not the screw that I wanted to use. That one's way too long. I also I kind of wish it would have came with like Ramp Crab gives you the little plates that go on the ears of the servo, and this didn't come with them. And I suppose it'll work, but I kind of would have liked it to have that little piece in there, because this one's supposed to be like really strong, and I feel like with just having like one screw going into it, it's asking to get pulled out of there. Getting a accumulation of parts build up here. I gotta clear some stuff out. These will go in. I have more of these somewhere. I need to go through and separate all my parts out and see what all I have, because some of the stuff, like my links especially, and different things like that, and like my stock transmissions and stock motors and stock servos and all that good stuff. I want to get all that stuff together and send it out to Rock and those guys if they're still doing the charity builds, because I think that's a really cool thing that they do. And I told before I would send them stuff, and then life got busy and crazy, and yeah, so I definitely would like to help support that thing that they do. So if you guys do that, Rock, get a hold of me, or I'll message you later, actually after this, and see what's going on with that, because I tidy some stuff up with building the new studio and everything. I need to make room for other goodies. Man, that's looking awesome. Like, I didn't even power the servo up yet, but just like having it sitting in there, like, it's just, it just does something. Like, and look at there's lines on there, there's lines on there. Sounds like a Joe Walsh song. For any of you younger people, look up Joe Walsh. Back when music was music and made by people. All right, so we got that done. We got that done. I think we're gonna put the shocks on next, and yeah, I think we're gonna do the shocks next. No, first I'm gonna finish up the steering. Well, partially finish it up. So, like I said, we're gonna wait until we power it up, just in case it's not like zeroed out. We're gonna do that last, as far as putting this over there and tightening it down. But for now, we are going to mount that from the back side. That'll work out good. So we'll grab, I think this one will probably be about the right length. That's gonna leave it, I think, hanging out a little far, yeah. So we'll go a step down on the length of that. We'll go with like a 6. I believe that was an 8. Yeah, a lot better. And whenever you're putting these the servo horns on, you'll have different, holes on there. Obviously, if you've been doing this, you know this already. You can tune out for a second. But for the noobs and stuff, and the new builders, you have 3 holes there. That's going to control how far it goes. I like to go all the way. So we're going to go in the longest reach, which is the last hole there. And what that'll do is give me a harder steering angle to make it turn farther. And once we get the new brass spindles, since we don't bushings because no bushings in there. Yeah, no bushings. I looked again, but I really want to put these on. They're so cool, but I can't. So we're gonna do that, and we're all gonna order new bearings. So it'll give us a chance. We're gonna order a bearing kit probably from Fast Cities, because like I said, I want to make this like as smooth as possible. I think that's key in getting like the modulation and the slow crawl and everything. Is it got to be smooth, because like if there's any resistance there, like the motor's got to like counteract that resistance before it even starts to turn. So that's going to take, way more power, way more energy to get it initially rolling. So if you're like up against a rock and like you're trying to like roll up over that and it's got like all kinds of crap like binding up in the drivetrain, the motor's got to like turn all that stuff and put power to that. And once that starts moving, all that energy there is going to get transferred right to the wheel when it breaks free. So then it's going to like, torque it, and you're automatically going to be losing traction right off the bat before it even starts. So if you have it nice and smooth and like there's no resistance on the drivetrain, it's just, it's science, it's physics, it's cool stuff that works. So that's my whole thought behind that is, to go to like next level of, yeah, you can buy this part, this part, this part and throw on there, but those are like the little tricks. Like that's what differentiates a true race car builder from, a guy that assembles race cars. Anyone can put parts together. Okay, so that's all done. Man, this thing is looking awesome. Oh, like I started saying, the shocks and my squirrel brain went the other direction. Axles over the planets, or even going with like a set of Mias diamonds or something. Because oops, I love those wheels, but I don't like the fact that, or axles, sorry. I don't like the fact that they're so wide. They look awesome on like this one here is actually it's an 18th scale. It's built designed for the TRX 4M chassis, but if you use the long wheelbase like the Gladiator or the Power Wagon, um, it's the perfect wheelbase for this guy here. And then you can get like the special mounts and everything to mount it up. So this is an SCX 24, but it's a 1/18 scale. And this has the Mias diamonds under it, which I absolutely love these axles. And I've been wanting to try the Injoras because, I'm a big Injora fan, and, I'm trying to rep their company, so I need to try their stuff. But, with that being said, like, they're perfect for these. Like, that's the perfect scale look with the wider axles. But if I were to put them on this one, I feel like they hang out too wide. And then some of the other ones I've seen, like they just sit up too high and they have too big a tire. And it takes it from like a scale look to like a goofy, like, you know, not scale, like a cartoony monster trucking thing. And I don't like that. Like, I like it to, you know, I like that nice, clean, realistic scale look. Something you would actually like, cruising down a trail in the woods. Um, so I guess with all that being said, we're going to mount some shocks up now and see what the ride's going to look like. And then we're going to get some wheels mounted up. And I have this one that I have to throw together yet. These, I don't want to jinx myself. I'm going to wood here. But the ones that I put together so far, they went together so smoothly. One of the first mini wheels that I put together, I used the stamped RC four-wheel drive wheels, which I loved them. They were cool, but they were a nightmare to mount up, especially if you were using anything that was like a really thick bead. Like you were in for it, and you were going to be cussing and swearing and throwing things, and you know. Um, I actually just tried mounting up a set recently, and I ended up stripping half the holes in the hub. So I need to get a new set of hubs for them. I did see where you can get them, so that's cool. But yeah, so like the hubs and everything, uh, stripped out on it, and I was trying to. I think I was mounting up a set of these, the Coopers from the FMS. I really like them. I'm putting them on my deadbolt currently. But for like a scale looking tire, they're really cool. So I was trying to mount them up on some steelies, some wagon wheels, and that's what happened. But these ones went together super easy. Like I didn't have to mess with them. Like they weren't all like off center or anything. Like they went on like really nice, and the other ones did too. So I don't know if it's the wheel design, if it's the tires, but I think Injora may have done something with them to make it a little bit more user-friendly, I guess you could say. More hardware. Is there any brass bushings? I'm telling you, I'm gonna find 3 more of these little brass bushings, and we're gonna put them spindles on. I'm like determined, but no, nothing in there. And these do come with different spring rates. You have like 2 different spring rates you can choose from, but they're so cool, like nice and scale. Now I assembled these ahead of time. They did not come with the bushings already in them, so I put them in, and I put the offset one on the top because you're gonna have to kick that out away from the frame, otherwise the top of the shock's gonna hit. And then I just ran the standard on the bottom. And sometimes they do like that little crooked thing like the Atlases and stuff did, and I'm not a big fan of that, so we're going to try to avoid that putting this together. Move these out of the way. I guess we could put the sliders back on now so I don't lose those screws, but we'll wait until I put the shocks on. I have so many of those Allen wrenches, it's ridiculous because they give them to you all the time. Different things that you order. And I don't know if I've ever tried to like put one of these together with one of those little Allen wrenches, but they work for about half of the build, and then your hands start giving out and they start slipping. And yeah, I've never been able to do like a whole build with one of those things, but maybe we could. I don't know. If I get enough subscribers and people asking me to do it, I'll build a whole thing with like hand tools, no power tools, and I might even do it with just those Allen wrenches. I'll have to see. Now we'll go for a longer one up top here, and you're gonna have to put a nut on the top side, and we're gonna go to the lowest setting because, like I said, I want to try to keep this keep the center of gravity low and keep like the scale appearance of it low. Oh yeah, that looks nice. Very nice. And there are different, the smaller ones, there are different thicknesses to those. So keep that in mind whenever you're mounting them up. If you put the thicker one towards the inside, it'll space the bottom of that shock out a little bit. And you have to watch and make sure your steering clears, but aside from that, it'll keep it like a better look if you can keep it out a little farther at the bottom because of spacing the top out. Because like I said, I like to keep them where they're staggered, like the top's in. It works better. The geometry of the axles work better like that and everything. Yeah, I think that'll clear. Now for these tops, we're just going to throw for now, but I am going to pull these back out because I think I'm probably going to end up using this bolt to hold the body mount in place. Got some, originally, like, this chassis comes with another piece, which is right here, carbon fiber tray that goes in the top here. And I actually have two of those that I believe I took out. And there should be, yeah, I don't know where they got to. But there was another tray that went across here, and you could double-sided tape some magnets to it, or Velcro even. Somewhere around here it came with Velcro. I think up here, yeah. So it came with these like Velcro things that you can put on there and Velcro it down, but I can't stand Velcro. It works. I have this one, my blue IR40 Velcroed, and then like the Traxxas style latch, and that works pretty decent, but I would much rather have a nice magnet setup on there. So we went ahead and we ordered the body mount magnet tray, and to mount that up you have to use these holes, but they don't quite line up like you would think they should. So I have to see like where the holes, you know, made up with each other, and usually it works where I can use the shock as the mount for that. Now for the back, it's not as big of a deal, and it does come with enough of, it doesn't come with like enough to do all of them spaced out, but it does come with two extra ones from the way I put it together. And you could put those on the bottom of the back and space the rear out, because the rear's not an issue as far as sticking out too far. It's not going to make contact with the wheel, and there's no spindle unless you're running four-wheel steer, so you don't have to worry about the spindle hitting the screw head. So you could actually, you know, kick out pretty good, and I might change that down the road here. For now, we're going to run it the same the whole way around, see just what it looks like. Something we can always change. What do you guys think about the brass on the bottom? Do you like it? Do you not like it? I like it for the performance aspect of it, but like I said earlier, I don't like the bling blingy aspect of it. Like, I would rather have it just be black so that it just looks like a shock. However, I got one of these, and this thing, Rock Wolf told me I should build it. He's the only one that's chimed in so far, so that's why it's still sealed up. But this is the limited edition gold IR60 24 body. They only made like 200 of these or something like that. I forget the exact number, but very limited production run, and they're not making any more. So part of me wanted to keep it in the container because, you know, it'd be cool to have like one of the only ones still in a container. But at the same time, I do this whole channel to share RC cars with you guys, and I feel like it would be selfish of me not share something that you guys can't purchase. So if I get enough of you guys saying like, hey, build that thing, and give me an idea how to build it, because like I said, I'm not into the whole bling blingy thing. I like realistic, old school, you know. So it's not really my gig, but I'll build anything. If you guys want to see it, give me some ideas. Tell me what parts to use. You know, whatever. Send me some pictures of ones other people that, you know, different things you liked about it, and I'll cut that bad boy open and we'll build it. And heck, if I get enough subscribers, maybe I'll give that one away after it's built. I've been thinking about what I can give away because it's been a while since, you know, we did a giveaway on the channel. I think the last real big giveaway we did was an MS K5 Blazer. We gave away one of those to one of my viewers, and that was pretty cool. Little boy, and his dad actually has a K5 Blazer, which was black, and the one that I gave away was a black 5 Blazer, so it worked out perfect. Oops. And as far as I know, he still has, it's still in one piece. I think something got messed up with the transmission trim. So one of these days I need to get a hold of their parents and see if they ever got straightened out, because I'm not just going to send somebody, you know, especially a kid, an RC car and then have something happen and, you know, not help them out with it. So that's something that is on my to-do list, because I talked to them pretty recently and asked, you know, how it was working for them and everything, and they said there was an issue with the transmission popping out here. I was actually going to send them a whole new transmission and everything, but I couldn't find one in my parts bin, and I don't think it's an issue with the transmission itself. I think it needs the trim set, which is a big problem on the FMSs, 2 speeds. If that trim gets off at all, it won't stay here. It'll pop out whenever you put some juice to it. Alright, so those are on there. Now, one of the things I did forget to order, since I am doing like a full custom build without using a sorry, I had someone texting me. I'm trying to like read and do this and multitask, and it's not working very well. Sorry, a good friend of mine that I haven't talked to in a while is texting me, and I just wanted to let them know that I wasn't ignoring them and that I was on a live stream right now. So yeah, that Blazer, that was like one of the last things that I gave away, and well, the last big things. And I'm thinking about, like, you know, what I can give away and all that. And I'm thinking like some Hot Wheels, and I want to give some RC car stuff away. So, you know, I'm open for ideas with that too. Like, any of my subscribers, you know, let me know what you think I should give away, or if you have had your eye on something for a while. You can even shoot me offers for stuff. Like, if you like are obsessed with something that I've built or something that I have, and you would like it for your collection, you know, shoot me an offer on like Facebook Messenger or in the comments or whatever. Like, you know, everything is for sale. Everything has a price and whatnot. Oh, but what I was saying about, so my lug nuts, because it's been a custom build, I did not think of the fact that I was going to need lug nut bolts, or lug nuts, whatever you want to call them. Drawing a blank right now. So I did not take into consideration that I was going to need them, and now I got to scramble and get some like extra ones that I have here in the parts bin. But Injora makes these really cool like hub covers that go on there, and I wish I would have gotten some of them. If I was thinking about it, I would have ordered them. They would have been perfect, and they would have made these wheels look even cooler than they already do. But luckily we have 4 of them right here. Still haven't came across no bushings though. I'm gonna like dig hardcore. After this live stream, I have a couple boxes of Axial SCX 24 parts. So I'm gonna go through them like hardcore and see if I can find some bushings. And I'm definitely gonna like let them know that they forgot to put them in there, so that they can send me some new ones out. Man, these wheels are going to be so cool. Now, I do have a thing to put it on, to put the wheels on with my driver, but until I dig that out and put it on there and crank her, it's just as easy to grab this one and do it by hand. Yeah, it don't look bad like that though. But there's the actual hub covers, like they would look sweet. Now, there's a bunch of other stuff that we could have done before putting these wheels on, and probably should have, but I want to see what the thing looks like. I want to see like how it sits, and I actually still have to put the other wheel together. But we're just like jumping around. We're not doing any like specific order. It's just like, you know, that's how we do stuff on Wingnuts RC. It's just chaos. But it works, and we build awesome stuff. Now these things here, I think I'm going to run these in the fronts also to add a little bit of weight, especially since the knuckle thing didn't work out. But I got to grind these down. So I'm going to do that later because I dig my Dremel tool out. But I always grind those tabs down on the inside. If you don't, you can't tighten it and the wheel falls off and it's a pain and it makes you mad. You know, so grind them off and then it won't bind up against your bearing and you can actually tighten your front wheels down. Little tech tip for you. So we're going to do that later though. And they're not going to space it out any more than it already is. So they will work perfect for what I'm trying to accomplish with this build. And that is keep the front and rear wheels as close to being under the vehicle as possible, instead of making it look kind of ridiculous like you got deuce and a half axles under a freaking Ford Festiva. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and throw this other wheel together. Oh, that's going to look nice. Yeah, that's a really nice stance to it. Get those put on. Before wheel though, I'm going to jump around a little bit more and drive you guys crazy. And we're going to put this back on. Alright, again, for the LCG chassis, you're going to run the top hole in the back of the skid plate, or whatever you want to call this thing. I guess it's not a skid plate, more of a Nerf bar side plate. Hopefully place can mount some goodies. This, like I said, this I got 2 of these. I ordered all this stuff from Injora, and half the stuff sent from China and half the stuff sent from California from my order. And I was like, man, I'm not going to get this stuff in time from China. And one of the things for my China order was this, and I wanted it to like mock up ahead of time, so I ordered another one off of Amazon. And somehow the stuff from China got here the day after the stuff from Amazon. So Injora actually shipped it pretty quick. So now I have this for one of my other builds, but that one we're running. There's the part number of it. And basically it's a reversible one, and I like these because they're a lot smoother. So you have a better like angle and everything there, so that your belly don't get hung up when you're crawling over the rocks. All right, so we got all that done. The motor, transmission, drive shafts, bumper, and the wheel needs done yet. So we're gonna go ahead and get the wheel done. We still have to put the window in, the electronics. The electronics, like I said, I still don't know exactly how I'm gonna pull that off, where I'm gonna put everything. I'm thinking about putting the ESC out here in the back somewhere, like exposed. I like to hide all that, but I don't know that I'm going to be able to with, like, I don't know. I'm not quite sure how it's going to work out yet. So that's going to be that's going to be something we learn together. But for now, we're going to get this wheel torn apart and get the silicone insert put in it and the brass ring, and then get this thrown on. These silicone things from Injora, I really like them. I haven't used any other brands, so like I can't really compare them, like if they work better or anything like that. But I will say that they work. Like these, I have them in my pink IR40 and a couple other ones. I forget who else has them. But they give it a lot of like this one, you know, there's not a whole lot of like sidewall structure to it. So if you get on something, it'll fold under, and yeah, that's no bueno. So I like to run those, the silicone inserts or anti-foams, whatever you want to call them. And one thing I would say is I like the way the foam feels. Don't get me wrong. Like I was up in the air about it because they both have different characteristics. Like they both have their pluses and their negatives, I guess you could say. But I think that they have more benefits than anything. I like the way that the foam fills the tire out better. These are 52 millimeters, and they kind of feel like they're aired down, kind of flat feel, versus like the foam pushes out on them more. So that's more like an appearance thing versus performance. Performance wise, the silicone's all day long over the foams. But yeah, once you get that in there, just work it around, make sure that's sitting in the lip good. There's a lip the whole way around that bead there. And both of these, actually these ones don't have it. Made a liar myself. The brass ones have a hole drilled in it. Now these wheels don't have a hole, and I didn't drill these ones yet, but a lot of times I'll drill the wheel out. I absolutely hate when people cut their tires. Like, do not cut your tires to vent them. And anyone that says that, that's like a YouTuber, like, just stop. Like, stop making videos. Like, don't cut your tires, because, like, if you catch that on something, first of all, these tires ain't cheap. Like, the good ones are not, and the cheap ones aren't good. So, like, if you're venting your wheels and tires by cutting the tire, what's going to happen is sooner or later, you're going to get hooked on something. Like, when it's rotating and it comes across that little hole there, you're going to get that snagged on an obstacle, and it's going to rip your tire into pieces. So, like, don't do that. Urban Legend RC, what's up? Yeah, I can't wait for this snowstorm. Like, I definitely have my Traxxas TRX4 Bronco and my FMS Blazer, the big one. Both of them in my bedroom. So in my bedroom, I have like a sliding glass door that leads out to the back deck, and then it's like woods and a yard, and you know, kind of like the perfect setup. But my plan, once we get all this snow, is to slide that sliding door open, and out the door I go with my RC cars, and get some video, guys. So yeah, I'm like super stoked about the snowstorm. They're calling for like 10 to 20 inches, I guess, and I'm hoping we get like 20 to 30. You know, I always, anytime it starts snowing, and like I see that it's like starting to lay and it's actually going to be like snow, I don't know why, but I always get this feeling like, and I hope it stalls out, because like where we are in the Northeast, United States, we get like lake effect and nor'easters and all this stuff, and like I'm no meteorologist, so I don't know the ins and outs. I went to school with Eric Finkenbinder, who is our local meteorologist, and he is pretty smart and probably like the most accurate weather forecast you can get in this area. He's a farm boy, born and raised on a farm, and he knows what's up. And yeah, anytime like I'm listening to the report, I always think of like, man, if it stalls out, like when these nor'easters and stuff stall out, you get stupid amounts of snow, and that's when you get like the blizzards where it's like several feet, and no one can, where like you get the cars that are all stuck trying to drive through it, and then you get people like me that have like Jeeps or big trucks with nice tires and winches and goodies on them, and we're out a bunch of idiots playing like we're kids, pulling people out, you know, doing good deeds. That's like like I was saying earlier, that's like one of my favorite things to do whenever we get snow, is I'll go out, and like the whole way through the snowstorm, I enjoy just driving around, you know, seeing stuff. One thing, it looks amazing, like whenever everything's covered in snow. But, you know, you get like the hills and stuff, and you kick her down in two-wheel drive and just, you know, see if you can make it to the top without having to put it in four-wheel drive, just because. And as you're driving around, you know, you get your buddies together, a couple of you might go, whatever, and as you're on your journey, you cross some people that might be slid off the road, and you help them out. Sometimes they give you some money for helping them, because obviously it's way cheaper than a tow bill. Sometimes they don't, but it ain't about that. It's about being out, having fun, enjoying the snow, helping out your fellow man. So I think with this snowstorm, I'm actually going to be getting to work Saturday morning, or Sunday morning rather, at 7 o'clock. I work 11 to 7. And that's going to be like prime time for the snowstorm. That's when it's going to be like dumping it down. So I'm like super excited that I get to drive home in that. Like everyone else is like, oh, I can't stand snow. I hate driving in it. Or like people at work, like they'll call off because they can't make it to work because it's snowing. I don't have that. Like I never get to call off work because I always have some big lifted vehicle. And years ago I tried that. I was like, oh, probably not gonna make it in tomorrow with the snow. And they're like, you have the biggest vehicle in the parking lot. You better be here before anyone else. So, there's definitely no using that excuse when you drive a lifted vehicle. But I look forward to it. Like I said, everyone else is like sweating it and scared about the drive in or the drive home, or if they have enough eggs and bread. And not me. I don't stock up on stuff because if I run out, it gives me an excuse to drive in the snow and go pick up some. Alright, so far it's looking pretty good. I like the width of the axles and coordinates to the rest of it. Might have to play around with some of the geometry, and the springs are hitting the screws right there. So I'm going to have to move that cross member so that does not happen. And same in the front, it's hitting that one there, so I'm going to have to move that. Trial and error. We'll go ahead and we'll keep building it though, and well, never mind, we'll just change them now. I was going to say I'll switch that out later. And of course, to do that, I'm going to have to take the shock back off. Alright, so with that out of the way, we can mount the shock back up, and then I'll figure out where I'm going to put that. Because I do want to use all the cross members that I can. I feel like it's beneficial to the structure of the frame. But we can't have it hitting a because that's, that's no good. Much better. Much better. Now we gotta do the same thing to the front. Man, it sucks that we gotta get rid of this one because I can't use, the motor's gonna go in here. So yeah, doing away with this one is gonna not a lot of options for cross support in the front down low. Okay, so now that I took that out, it, like, opened that up a lot more. So it'll get some of that rigidity back with the bumper. But yeah, we're not going to be able to run that. Yeah, that'll be okay. We'll figure out where we're going to put these cross members. I could even sneak one in here, I guess. Not that it would really be needed, but we'll figure that out then. We'll sneak them in some of the structure back with them. I could space that top out a little bit more, but I want to keep them tucked in at the top of the shock. So we're just going to let that like it is for now. I guess we can go ahead and dig this out. We only need the front one, but this does come with like the front and rear bumper also. And it was very cheap. I think it was like $5 or something on Amazon. It was on sale for the whole set, all the bumper mounts, the bumpers. And they're actually pretty cool bumpers. It's I can't see what it says. DC or something yet. BC, base camp. But either way, they're pretty cool bumpers. Too wide for this one, but they could definitely work on something. Not as nice as the aluminum one, but like I said, I think this will be a lot better for what we're doing because of the fact that the aluminum one was too rigid, and I think that played a factor in the bumper pins breaking. Yeah, they're on a shorter one in there. I hung out just a little bit too far with a 6 in there due to the servo being on the other side. Now the aluminum ones, I never had an issue with them sitting in the hole right, but these ones do not seem to want to sit in there right. Like the pin's just a little bit too big for the hole. Once I put that top body mount in, that should make it a lot more rigid. Alright, so we still have drive shafts to put in, and this stuff. Actually, we're going to hold off on the bumper for right now. We'll put that on after the rest of the stuff, just in case we have to take that back off for anything. We'll go ahead and get the motor and transmission in next. People always break that tab off of the stock ones. It never fails. I don't know what it is about them, but for some reason people always break them off. I think every used axial I ever bought has that tab broke off. Whenever I do these, I always start a couple of them, if not all of them, and then I'll go around and tighten them. Otherwise, you run the risk of stripping them out and getting the holes not lined up, and you can't get half the screws in and all that fun stuff. Alright, motor and transmission's in. I guess we could do the drive shafts next, and then we'll do the upper body mount. Now for the drive shafts, we went with, these are for the C10 JLU Bronco base camp, and they're basically just steel drive shafts. They have them in the silver like this, and they also have them in a black one. These ones are stainless, where the other ones I believe are just like a regular steel, but I could be wrong. Now, shorter one's going to go in the front, longer one in the rear. And I always like to run this end on the axle side. These are really nice drive shafts. I like the design of them. They go together nicely, they fit nicely, they look really good. I've never had an issue with them. And I like that you can put a bunch of them together. I was putting FMS transmissions, the 2 speeds, in axial builds for a while, and doing different weird stuff like that, like, you know, running different transmissions with different, and I was able to use different ends. So like one transmission would have one style, like a Traxxas for instance. I did a 2-speed Traxxas, TRX4M, and whenever I did that one, like, I was able to take, like, you know, a D shape and a circle one and put them together, and run different brand axles with different transmissions. One thing I would like to see is, I feel like it would have been nice to have the flat side on these, the D shape. I feel like that would have made them a little bit stronger maybe, and a little bit tighter fitting. Not that there's an issue with it, but I feel like that just would have taken, like, you know, a little bit further than what it already was. You know, if there was any room for improvement there, that's what I would have improved on. Man, this front one is tight. I don't remember them ever being that hard to get the drive shaft on. It could be this transmission. This is the first time I've ever used one of these transmissions. It might just have a little bit longer front shaft. Try putting that on first. Yep. So we just had to pop that one on first, because with this transmission it's a little bit longer. So by putting that on first, we were able to get that scooted into place. Alright, there's the drive shafts all done. I like it. I like the way it sits. I like it a lot. It really actually stand to have the stronger springs on, I'm not gonna lie. But we're gonna run these ones for now and see how it works. So that's on there. Now we'll get this body mount on. Alright, so basically this is just going to pop in here like this. And I'm not quite sure where the height's going to need to be, so we're just going to put it just a smidge above flush, because I think it's going to have to be a little bit higher. And I will try it right there. That's like right about flush with the top of the shock towers. And then I think we might be able to snag one of those and have it not interfere, and then that'll just add a little bit more rigidity to it. Good enough for now. Trying to see if I can snag one of those. I need to try one of the universal ones, because I feel like they might have the holes more designed for different aspects that these ones don't line up. Because some of these, like this, I don't know that they made this chassis. I think that it might have been like a rebranded thing, like where they put their name on someone else's mass-produced part. Yeah, I can't catch that hole with that. It's actually nice and flush there. And that one did not go in as nice as the other side, but it's in there, so we're just going to leave it alone for now. Man, it's hitting right there before it comes the whole way down on this. We'll have to play with that a little bit. I'll mess with that off camera and see if I can get that to come down a little more. Also, something's kind of feels like, oh, there we go. Plug was hitting. So at full droop, it almost looks, yeah, that the motor is hitting that upper link right there. I was messing around with it. I was going to try to put it backwards, but there were some things that I didn't really like about that. It would have had interferences with other parts of the body if I would have tried that. So yeah, I don't know, I'm happy with that. I dig it. I'll have to mount those up then. Have to take my hot glue gun out probably. Or I could just double-sided tape it. It does come with this foam tape. I might double layer that up, and that should fill up the gap there that I need. Well, I guess we can finish putting the cab together too. Or I might hold off on that because it does come with like the grill and lights and stuff, but I want to paint that white. So I'm going to paint that white before I install it. So we're going to hold off on that. The glass we can put in and the mirrors we can put on. I wonder if they put... Nope, we're going to paint the mirrors before we put them on to make them look more realistic as well. So we're going to hold off on those. I have to figure out like all the wiring. I'm super picky about that. It's gonna take me some figuring out off camera where I want to run all the wires. I'm probably gonna shorten some of them up so that I don't have like a big cluster in there. This one is actually shorter. So whenever I did the IR60s, the front end came out further than this one. And that front bumper that I used was perfect for it. But this one, it seems to stick out a little bit further. I think it's just the body itself. Yep. I think that's pretty good. See, I think what we're going to do is we're going to mount the ESC probably right about in there. I don't think I'm going to use this tray. I'll probably mount the receiver on one of the skids, and then the battery not really sure where I'm going to mount the battery yet. Maybe on the side. I don't like it back there so much. I don't know. I'm gonna have to play around with all that stuff off camera because there's a lot of stuff we gotta try in like a little area on this one. So that's all stuff I'm gonna do off camera because I'm getting hungry. I need to. So I'm gonna go do that and answer some phone calls and messages that I got here while I was on this live stream with you guys. So we're gonna do a second part after I figure out some stuff and pick this build up at that point. So until then, this is Wingnut with Wingnuts RC. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe and share and all that good stuff. And I'll catch you on the next one. Till then, peace.